Shalom Aleichem, my friends. My name is Hadassah, and I would like to tell you a little bit about my story. I live in a Jewish community in the country of Persia. I live there with my uncle Mordecai, who is a scribe for the king, so that's a pretty good job. Our community is made up of Jewish people who were originally taken captive from Jerusalem by the king of Babylon. His name was Nebuchadnezzar. And so Nebuchadnezzar captured my people and forced many of our wealthy, our intellectual, members of the priestly class, members of the royal class, just a lot of influential people, took them all captive and took them to Babylon. Since that time, Babylon has been conquered by another country called Persia, and so now we are under Persian rule, and my community is actually within the realms of Persia. And it's not too bad. We still are restricted in some of our movements. We're not allowed to just go anywhere we want. We have to stay within our community and abide by certain laws, and we have to pay taxes to the government, and we have to pay tribute, at least in word, to the Babylonian gods, which doesn't go well with the religious leaders around here because we still believe that there's only one God, and his name is Yahweh, and we follow Yahweh and him alone. And so it's kind of difficult to balance the lip service that we're supposed to give to the Babylonian gods, or Persian gods at this point, but still remaining faithful to Yahweh. But my uncle Mordecai, he's a wonderful guardian. He's taken care of me for a long time, and he's helped me learn our Jewish culture and our Jewish beliefs. And so yeah, things are going pretty well. Although the latest gossip within the community is that the queen of Persia, her name is Vashti, and she is so beautiful. I mean, every time that we catch a glimpse of her out in public, all of us girls are like, okay, what is she wearing? What kind of makeup does she have? You know, how is her scarf laid? Because she's just gorgeous. But the news in the town is that the king wanted Vashti to put on a little show for him, if you know what I mean, for him and his friends. And Vashti was like, nope, not going to happen. So now the king has sent her off without a queen. How do you find a queen in 5th century BC Persia? Apparently, you hold a beauty pageant. So that's the latest news, is that the guards and these appointed people are going out into the cities looking for the beautiful girls. And my friends and I, we don't know what to do. I mean, do we hide in our houses and never come out? Or do we go out and just try and cover our faces? I mean, I don't know. So just wanted to give you an update. That's what's going on with me. Shalom, Hadassah, my beautiful niece. You will surely be chosen to go to the pageant. Palace. When you go, though, perhaps you should not use your Jewish name. Don't use my name? Hadassah? But I love my name. It means star. Yes. Well, how about Esther instead? Esther? But that means hidden. Yes, it does. Oh, yeah, so I got chosen. It hasn't been all that bad. Perfume treatments, spa days, hair, nails, toes, the works. I've been here about 6 months though. I'm starting to wonder if I'm ever going to get out of here. Supposedly we're supposed to meet with the king, but who knows when that's going to happen. But yeah, so for now, when life gives you pomegranates. Esther, congratulations! Tonight you get to go before the king. So put on a dress, put on a smile, look real nice, and maybe he'll pick you to be the winner. Queen. Maybe he'll pick you to be the queen. Hey, yeah, so, what happens if he doesn't choose me? About that. Here, take this. Good luck. Surprise! He picked me. So now I'm Queen Esther. I'm still Esther, not Hadassah. It's okay. But yeah, so I'm living in the palace now. It's pretty cool. You would think, though, that I could go anywhere and do anything that I wanted to since I'm the queen, but I really can't. And in some ways, I feel like I have more restrictions on me now than I did when I was living in the Jewish community of captives. There's some really strange rules, like, for one, I can't go just talk to the king. Like, I can't just go walk up and say, "Hey, sweetie, what's going on?" No, I have to wait until he summons me. Such a dumb rule. But one of the good things that's happened is the other day, my Uncle Mordecai came to visit me, which he does sometimes, kind of just on the down low. I don't really know that people know that we're related, but he comes and visits me sometimes. And so he was leaving the other day, and he heard a plot to kill the king. My husband. Ooh, my husband. That still sounds kind of strange, but yes. So he heard a plot to kill the king, and he notified the authorities, and they found out the plot. They arrested the men who were involved, and word got back to the king, and he says, "Oh, that's so cool. I want to honor the man who saved my life." So the rumor around the palace is that he was talking to one of his advisors named Haman. So Haman, I don't think he likes anyone. I think he just basically hates everyone, but he especially hates Jews. So whenever I see him in the courtyard, I just keep walking past. I try not to make eye contact. Just stay away from Haman. But the rumor around the palace is that Haman was asked, "What should I do if I want to honor someone?" And Haman thought that the king wanted to honor him. So he's like, "Oh, well, if you want to honor someone, you should put them on one of your horses and let them wear your clothes and parade them throughout the town saying, 'This is what happens to a man that the king wants to honor.'" Well, the king did those things, but he didn't do them for Haman. He did them for good old Uncle Mordecai. And to add insult to injury, since Haman doesn't like Jews, and obviously therefore does not like my Uncle Mordecai, Haman was the one who had to lead the horse through the streets and be the proclaimer. This is what happens when the king wants to honor someone. I feel like he's probably pretty peeved at that, having to do that. But, you know, you win some, you lose some. I don't think he's gonna hurt anyone, but I don't know. Like I said, I just stay far away from him. We'll see what happens. My apologies. Man, you Jews, you don't give me the respect I deserve. I'm gonna kill you and all your people. Well, that escalated quickly. Psst. Esther! Esther! Uncle Mordecai, why are you hiding in a bush? I accidentally bumped into Haman. Well, did you tell him you were sorry? Yes, I told him I was sorry. And he said he wanted to kill me and my family and all my people. Well, that escalated quickly. Esther, you have got to go talk to your husband, the king. You have got to stop Haman. If you don't, do not think that because you are queen that you will escape this massacre as well. You were put on the throne for such a time as this. What? I can't just go talk to my husband? What, I'm just gonna walk right up to him and be like, "Hey husband, how's it going?" You don't do that around here. For talking? Yes, for talking. This is the same man who had a beauty pageant to find a wife. Well, good luck. Let me know how it goes. I'll check in. Wait, I mean, if I'm gonna do this, then you have to do something for me too. Why don't you pray about it, okay? Let's fast and pray for 3 days. And at the end of 3 days, I will go talk to my husband, the king, even though he hasn't asked me to come talk to him. And if I perish, then I perish. and then you will talk to your husband. Okay, so you're just gonna walk in there and you're gonna be like, hello, Majesty, husband, sire, sir, Majesty. I've already said that. Could I talk with you for a second? Just a second of your time. If you have a minute, you know, I just have a quick question for you, you know, about saving my people and all that. Maybe ask about Sparta. No, don't ask about Sparta. Not a good idea. Okay. All right, here we go. Who dares to come into my courtroom unsummoned? Hello, husband, your highness, majesty, sir. Yeah, I have just a quick question for you, if you don't mind. I guess so. Yes, so my question is, first, are you hungry? Like, do you want me to make you a sandwich? Like, are you hungry right now? Sandwiches? I love sandwiches! Make mine with extra falafels. And make one for my buddy Haman there, too. You got it, King Xerxes. I'll be there. Sure. Haman can come, too. The shawarma and falafel are great. If you can make sandwiches like this, you can have anything you want, right, Haman? I'm so glad that everything is to your liking. Really, you have no idea how glad I am to hear that. So, yeah, my question, well, let me start off by saying someone wants to kill me. Kill you? Who wants to kill you? I will cut off his head. Well, you see, the thing is, he doesn't just want to kill me, but he wants to kill my whole family and all of my people and... People? You have people? Who are your people? Come to think of it, our wedding was made up of mostly my people. Huh, interesting. So, who are your people and who wants to kill them? Well, I'm a Jew. I'm Jewish. My name is actually Hadassah, which means star, but my uncle Mordecai, you know him, you honored him just a short while ago. He's my uncle, and he told me when I came that I should use the name Esther instead, which means hidden, because he thought that if I kept my identity hidden, that I would not suffer persecution and racism within the royal court, because people in this country in this time period generally do not like Jewish people. And your guy Haman over here, he bumped into my Uncle Mordecai one day accidentally, and even though Uncle Mordecai said he was sorry, Haman flipped his lid and said he was going to kill my Uncle Mordecai and all of his people, which includes me. So yeah, if you could tell him not to kill all the Jewish people, that would be great. Your name's not Esther? That was all you got out of all of that. Okay, look, he already has the month and the day picked out. He is literally going to kill all of my people and me if you don't stop him. Like, he used your royal seal and everything to write a decree. Huh, I wondered why you wanted to borrow that thing the other day. You said you were getting it cleaned. Well, the thing is, if my royal seal was used to sign a massacre into law, there's not much I can do to change it. What? You can't stop the annihilation of an entire group of people within your kingdom? What kind of king are you? I'm a great king! I have a beautiful wife and palaces and guards and everything. As for Haman, you don't get to share my falafels anymore. Yeah, well, he hates my Uncle Mordecai so much that he actually built gallows in his backyard that he wants to hang my Uncle Mordecai on. Who builds gallows in their backyard, dude? That's weird. You'll be hanged on that. Well, if something has already been issued by a royal decree, I can't change that. But I can do this.
By royal decree, I issue that the people are allowed to defend themselves against the armies that will come to attack them. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Ah, shalom, my friends. This is a day of resting and gladness. And I will write down all of these events in the scrolls, and we'll keep them and pass them on from generation to generation, and we will remember this day, and we will call it Purim.
So the thing about Esther is that she was a woman who lived in a place and in a time when she did not get to make very many decisions for herself. She was part of a community of Jewish people living in Persia, and as we've talked about, the people in that community had a lot of restrictions on them. They could make a living, and they could work, and they could farm, and they could trade and buy and sell, but they couldn't go anywhere. They couldn't do a lot of things that they used to be able to do when they were free in Israel. And so, as a woman living in that community, Hadassah had even fewer freedoms than any of the men around her would. So, Hadassah is chosen in a roundup to be part of a beauty pageant to choose the next queen of Persia. And even though in this little skit, I've had that be kind of a tongue-in-cheek, kind of funny thing, imagine in reality just how terrible that would be, to be taken from your family and forced to go through these beauty treatments to make you beautiful so that hopefully the king would choose you. The unfortunate reality is that of the presumably hundreds of women, there goes my earring again. Let me show you bloopers of how many times I've lost my earring. Hot. Why do you think she made that decision? And he thought that if I kept my identity hidden, that I wouldn't suffer some of the persecution and racism within the royal court. There went my earring. The unfortunate reality is that of these hundreds of women who were rounded up and given their one night with the king, we like to really romanticize that in our culture, but of these women, the ones that the king did not pick, did not choose to be his wife, they ended up as part of his harem, and they were at his beck and call, the same as the queen was. So it was not a good situation. It was not a romantic situation. Hadassah was a captive as the queen just as much, probably even more, than she was as a member of the community. So like I said, she didn't get to make very many choices of her own. However, when Mordecai comes to her and says, Haman is hatching this plan, he's going to kill all the Jewish people, honestly, Esther, at this point, the queen, could have just said, that's your problem. I'm Queen Esther. I'm not Hadassah anymore. And she probably could have gotten away with that. And I mean, maybe someone would have ratted her out and would have told people, hey, you should go check on your queen because she's actually Jewish too. But she didn't do that. She did not hide behind her notoriety. She did not hide behind the crown. She prayed. And Esther is an interesting book in that not once is the name God mentioned in the book. There are references to prayer, there are references to fasting, but the name God in any form, Yahweh, Elohim, Adonai, none of those terms are used in the book of Esther. But God is still present, and Esther decides that she is going to ask Mordecai and all of her ladies in waiting and all of the Jewish people passed through word of mouth by Mordecai to pray and fast for 3 days. And at the end of that time, she will go before the king unsummoned. And she says, if I perish, I perish. And those are really amazing words because, like I said, she could have hid behind her crown, but she decided not to. But the penalty for going before the king unsummoned was death. Because, like I said, she did not have very many freedoms. And one of those freedoms would be just randomly showing up in the throne room. You just don't do that. So she showed bravery, she showed courage, she showed dedication, even in the midst of the situation where her life was in danger. And also just continue to be thinking about how can we care for other people during these times? What are some of the ways that we can be present with people even if we are not physically present? Another question, many of you probably remember Minister Mariah, who was the youth minister here at First Baptist before I was. Well, she and I are friends, and we went through divinity school together. And she wrote a paper, actually, based on Esther. And it was a study, interestingly, of the psychological effects of Esther's trauma and how the trauma that she endured being a captive and then being captured and forced to go to the palace, how those things impacted her, and really kind of delved into the way that Esther expresses some post-traumatic stress disorder. And that's one of the things that I've been thinking about in terms of what life on the other side of coronavirus restrictions is going to look like. Have you thought about that? Like, in what ways are you thinking we might have some PTSD from this? I've wondered, am I going to feel comfortable giving people I don't know a hug? Am I going to feel comfortable shaking hands with people I don't know? Am I going to be able to stand closer than 6 feet with anyone in a supermarket ever again? I don't know. And I hope not. I hope that's not something that we develop in this time. But are there other things like that that you've thought of? Like, what kind of lasting effects that these restrictions might have on us? And what are some ways that we can go ahead and work toward overcoming that? I know that's a really big question, but I think it's important for us to go ahead and start asking it now so that when we do find ourselves on the other side, we'll be prepared to have an answer. So that's all that I have for today. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was fun. I just wanted to do something a little different than just me talking to the camera like this for 20 or 25 minutes. So thank you for being with me, and I will see you on Sunday. Shalom.